Hello everyone, this is ACryInShame, part of the Long Drive Night team, bringing you Shroud of the Avatar, Forsaken Virtues. This game is a medieval fantasy, MMO, RPG, sandbox game, similar to Ultima Online, or a game that I loved, Star Wars Galaxies. And this is all in spirit, obviously, since Star Wars Galaxies was based in the Star Wars universe, but the gameplay is very similar. Today, we are going to jump into the game and show you the ropes as if you're just starting. If you've played this game already, these little hints and tricks may be helpful to you. But if you've never played the game at all, this is supposed to be an intro into the game and maybe something to entice you to play the game yourself. So let's jump on in. The first thing you'll be greeted by is this screen here. It's entering a construction zone. The game is still in progress and still being worked on by the devs, and they're very active in it. They get an update about once a week, and there's plenty of activity on the forums about the updates they are making, and input from the actual players themselves. So don't be afraid to give some input. So let's jump into the game to understand the game is unfinished and I'm entering construction zone. This is where you get to the actual game menu. Hit play online to play with other people. You can play offline as well, but if you do decide to play offline, the characters you create here will not be used online with other people. So make sure you hit play online. You can then choose multiplayer online or single player online. If you decide that you just want to play with yourself and play through the game, you can do single player online. This way your characters can be saved in the online server, but you don't have to interact with anyone or be killed in PvP. Granted, you must accept PvP before any PvP can actually happen. Online multiplayer is a standard game in the way the game was meant to be played. Friends online is where you can play with just your friends. It's like single player, but with friends. If you have Steam, you can uncheck this button here and you can log in directly through Steam rather than using your credentials. If you don't have Steam, or got it through the server itself, or what have you, or just decide that you want to use your username and password because you have more than one login, which some of us do, you can go ahead and use this right here. You can also remember the username, if you need to be, to make it easier to log in the future. After you first log in, you'll have a welcome avatar. This is where you should create your avatar name. Now, do remember that each account may only have one character on the online mode. If you're playing offline, don't worry, you can create as many characters as you wish. Now remember, in the online mode, you may only have one character. That's including in multiplayer or single player modes. So it's one character per one account. Keep that in mind when creating your character. If you do decide that you want to change your name later on, you can do that, but it will cost you. You'll go online onto their site and pay a $25 token. That's right, $25 to change your name. So, if you don't want to spend $25 to change your name, select your name carefully. Today, we're doing something simple. ACryInShame. Keep it male. Proceeding. After you create the name of your character, you'll go into this area here. This is your beginning area. As you see, you are a spirit. If you watch the intro, you'll understand as to why you're a spirit. Intro will play when you first enter the game. You use the W, A, S, and D keys to move around. Double click on the woman in front of you to talk to her. That's right, you can double click players and characters to interact with them. However, another quick hint which may help you out, and you don't have to click so much, if you scroll on top of somebody, you can hit E instead. Hitting E will do the same as double clicking. Hail Avatar, I am Arabella. I've been sent to guide you. I know you are feeling ill at ease. Your spirit is taken from Earth to this place, but I assure you, your destiny has never been closer. So, there's a lot of story going on here, and feel free to read through it all as you play through the story yourselves. This is an introduction to the game and not the introduction to the story itself. So, after you talk to her, you just hit a manifestation to get off the conversation with her, hit goodbye, and you'll make your way down the road here. As you make your way down the road, you'll see these little braziers here. Follow the braziers to your left, and you'll see a mirror. That mirror will get you started. Double click or hit E on the mirror to use it, and this will open up your character creation menu. The character creation menu, you can set up your character as you wish. Hair and everything. Set up the way that you like the way everything to look. And then when you're done, hit finished. Alright, when you're back into the game, you can move forward. Right here is a quick little thing here. You can actually hit double click or hit E to open up books. You can flip through them on the bottom right corner here. You can read through all this if you wish. You can pin it so it's not, it'll stay there, or you can take it off. Hit X to exit, or hit escape as well. Either one of those two will close it off for you. You can also take items by clicking and dragging them onto yourself, or if you hit I to open your inventory, you can click and drag into your inventory. Make our way up here to the mysterious Oracle. As you'll talk to the Oracle, you can say you are ready for your analysis and go through a few questions. Answer these questions to get your path. After you have a path, for instance right now, by my random clicking, I've gotten the Path of Love, which is the Ranger and Bow path. You can choose Sword or Magery if you choose. So basically you can choose between the Bow, the Sword, or Mage. Now do not worry, in this game, that is not your final decision. You can choose whatever you want in the future as you please. However, I personally suggest that you go the Ranger path simply because it is the most fleshed out path at this point in the game. So if you're playing really early on or playing at this stage of development, then choose the Ranger path just to make your life a little easier, as the Sword and Mage path are still in the works and are not fully completed. I'll get into how skills are trained in just a moment, and thus you'll understand as to why the paths don't really matter which one you choose. So, after you choose which path you want to do, if you decide to ignore me and go to the Mage or Sword path, by all means feel free to. You come up here, following the bracers again, and you'll see this portal here. These portals are found throughout the game. These are called lunar rifts. You'll see that this one's being powered by this particular rift part here. At different times of the night and such, you will see these different phases of the moon, right? Depending on what phase of the moon it is, you can probably see the moon somewhere, maybe not. Okay. A different part of a rift will open to a different location. However, in this case, it's not about the rift, it's about what path you chose. So, we'll jump on in and go to Solace Bridge. And this is the beginning of Solace Bridge, which is the beginning of the Love Path. You'll see everything's on fire. So, you explore the realm with WASD, just perfectly fine. And this will be the intro area. You make your way into, say, this building here. You can hit E on notes and such to read them. Hit E to loot bodies. Now, as the game is in early development, you'll see freezes like this happen. Just wait a little bit, and they will continue on. I've never had it where it completely froze. Hit E again to loot everything. It'll make everything a lot easier when looting items. Guys, he's coming from upstairs. There's a small child here. You can talk to her. Alright, so in this game, you have the little clicks on the bottom here, but you can also type commands into talking to people. So right now, oh no, oh goodness, my house, help! I'm Charlotte Gray. Who are you? I am your worst nightmare. That was good. I'm scared your worst nightmare. You can have a lot of fun with this game. You really can. Alright, so follow me. Let's loot this chest. Nothing important in there. Let's go, woman. Or child, or whatever. She is following you. Keep her safe. So, for crates and barrels, you can hit E or double click to break them to loot them. Ooh, lemons. Lemons are nice. They're used for cooking. Coconuts. Coconuts are also the same thing. They're used for cooking. I'm Charlotte. Why are you sitting in a burning building? I know you're afraid, but how stupid can you be to sit in a burning building? Alright, loot some more stuff. Some bread. Bread and a dead body. Why not? Now, this person here, I believe, is Quincy. Yep. Quincy's broken sword. So take that, take that. So you can also double click to read stuff in inventories. You can double click to put them directly into your inventory, or just to E to take everything. Or hit the take all button. E again to open doors. E is your action key. E for everything. If you want to know why I got E from everything from, just check the description. Alright, so you can talk to this individual. It's Edward. So, he's telling you to get weapons and stuff. So you get the bow. Loot some bodies. Loot the bodies, man. Just loot the bodies. It's worth the loots. Pick up everything here, because this is all your beginning equipment. There should also be... He gives you arrows, right? You click on him. He will then give you arrows. Hit you already. Goodbye. He gives you arrows. Hit I to open up your inventory. Go to your equipment bar here. Go to your bow. Oh, the bow automatically equipped. Hit C to see that the bow is equipped. Alright, so the first item you pick up probably is equipped. Hit Z to take out your weapon. Double click on enemies to attack them. It'll automatically attack. If you're not automatically attacking, hit T, which will enable and disable automatic attacking. Okay. Now double clicking seems to be better off in this particular case than hitting E, as E doesn't seem to work when it comes to attacking. So E doesn't work for attacking like it does for pretty much every other double clicking there is. You also see right here, it'll kind of give you information about the ammo you have. So it says 99 plus, which means we have over 100 shots. Once again, just loot everything you can. These items may not make sense to you now, but they are very useful. Gold is always good, food is always good, and they're just different pieces of stuff that you can use. You'll see on the right here, you'll be gain levels as you begin to fight. You see this bar here showing that we're gaining experience into these skills as we use them. This is a action-based game where as you perform actions, like in Skyrim or in other Elder Scrolls series, you will gain experience in that skill that you are actually using. The difference in this and other skill-based games, or skill training games, is there is an experience pool. The experience pool, if you hit K for your skills, you'll see down here is your experience pool. You will gain experience by completing quests or defeating enemies. But as you use anything that gains experience itself, it'll pull from your pool. As you see, we are lowering down. But then as soon as we kill something, like now, it went up. So we gain experience for defeating enemies, and we lose experience when putting it towards a skill. If you were to run out of experience in your pool, you will no longer be able to put any experience into a skill. The significance of this system is that if you killed a bunch of enemies and they were killing, the amount that you were killing or gaining you more experience than you were losing by using skills, your pool will get higher and higher. There are different tiers in your pool. I think it's every 10,000. I'm not 100% sure, I'm still testing that, but I think every 10,000 it gets to a new tier. Each tier of your experience pool means more experience we put into your skills. What does that mean? You will train your skills faster. Of course, it's a bit of a balance act with killing and gaining experience. So you do have to worry about the amount of experience that you're pulling from your pool and the amount of experience going into your pool. You never want it to actually ever hit 0. You can deal with lower tiers just fine. You'll level up your skills a little slower, but nothing too significant from my experience. However, you never want to hit 0 because then you can use the skill all you want, but you won't gain any experience into it. You won't actually train anything. Hit Z key to put away your weapon. We'll hit K to get rid of this as well, and talk to Edvard. Once again, the game has frozen. Give it a little bit of time. Patience is the key to this game as it's still an alpha build. There we go. You'll get a bunch of experience as you've completed this quest of saving this girl. Then you hit boat to get on out of here. Marked on your compass. Say goodbye. Ask a favor? Okay. There, you're given a journal that you're going to give to somebody in Soul Town, which is the next place we were going. So, if your compass up here is not showing, hit M. We'll make this show up. You can also click and drag this location here to sit to where you want to sit, including down here if you're used to like other MMOs. Perfectly fine. I prefer it up top. Alright, so if you turn your map, you'll see the compass, and right here, it's pointing towards the boat to Everard Found. That Everard Found. So you come down here to the boat. There's your boat. There's your exit of this newbie area. You can continue to explore the area, but as I explored the area before, there's really nothing to find here, and you can always come back to this Solace Bridge after you're done the intro stuff. So no worries. Just make your way down to the boat and continue on your way. Now, welcome to Soul Town. This is the beginning town. You'll spend a good amount of time here, so be sure to get used to this area. You'll start your adventure here by clicking on the guard. He'll ask you for your name. You can type your name as before. I'm just going to call myself Cry. Alright. Then hit Edvard. You will then have a note. Edvard Notes of Solace Bridge. Give him that. If you've done the other quest lines, it'll be a different area, like Edvard Notes of Highvale. Same thing, give it to him. So, as it states here, questing in Shroud of the Avatar is quite different from other RPGs, though you won't see any exclamation marks. You will just simply talk to people, they will tell you what's going on. You can then hit J for your journal, hit current tasks, and you get little entries like this to actually talk about and show you what kind of tasks are available to you. When you complete the tasks, you'll get experience and such. So as we gave him the stuff here, he will get 2,500 experience for completing that quest. As you can probably tell, you'll gain a lot more experience from questing than you will from killing individual units. So this is a bit of info. Feel free to read it when you play the game yourself. Hit help at any time to ask people to see if there's something for you to do. Goodbye. Now, in Soul Town, over here there's plenty of people you can talk to. They give you a few quests, so feel free to talk to them. Finding the entry areas here, you can come out here to the road, follow the road down, and I'm going to show you one of the more important aspects of this game that you may not know of. So when you make it into Soul Town here, on the right side here is the town crier. Talk to him. You will be given 100 gold just for talking to him. This is the same for every town throughout the entire game. So when you talk to the town criers in any town for the first time, they will give you 100 gold just for talking to them. Just for visiting their town. Then, at the inn here, in Soul Town, this is where you'll open up this door here, talk to the banker, turning off hints. The banker has bank slots here. This is where you can store your items until you actually get your own house. You can add slots here. It's about 100 gold for I think the first 50, and then after that it's 500 gold, and it'll continue to go up as you gain more and more item slots. If you had any rewards and paid money into the game extra, you can actually get a whole bunch of bank slots. and other things included in the reward system of this game. If you come out here, this individual here is your combat trainer. He will upgrade any of your skills here. So basically he'll teach you new skills. For instance, I am a scavenger. If you did take the bow path, pick that up as soon as you can. It's a very important skill to take. Then these skills below will need level 40 of the skill prior to it in order to use these guys. But when you can unlock them, come to him and he will teach you them for 100 gold per skill. Then if you come over here, there's the blacksmith. Talk to the blacksmith. The important reason of talking to the blacksmith, if you go to sell your inventory, go to the equipment, you'll see all these rusty swords and stuff that you picked up. Get rid of them. Take all the stuff here, drag it into this spot here, you'll get 106 gold, hit sign for the exchange. So all the extra crap that you picked up, you can now sell to the blacksmith for extra gold. Why are you selling to the blacksmith? Because the blacksmith gives you more money for equipment such as the hammers and the swords than normal sellers would. If you want to buy new items, right behind the blacksmith is this building here. The individual who usually stands right here is the person that you're going to buy from. He's currently probably sleeping, as each of the NPCs, including the merchants, have a schedule. Well, they will sit and wait to buy and sell stuff, and then they'll go home and sleep. If you're doing any crafting and you need training in different crafting skills, talk to this individual here. He will train you in crafting. Any of your crafting skills that need leveling up on, you train through it and he'll give you the same thing as the combat and adventuring one. For 100 gold, he'll teach you a new skill. So, that's the basics of the game. The general overview and the basics. So we're going to go over into the little in-depth of a few more pieces that you need to know about. First off, the inventory system. Hitting I will open up your inventory. With all items, it'll show you the full list of items that you have carrying. You'll notice a bunch of items here that are all grayed out. These items are currently equipped to you in your skill menu. Hitting K will open your skill menu. Going to crafting, you'll see equipped tool for each of these crafting pieces. These are these grayed out tools here. These are the ones that are equipped to you for that skill. They have durability, so as you use that skill, for instance mining, the mining pick will wear down until it breaks, which means you will need a new pick in order to continue mining. Same goes for all of the crafting skills. Keep that in mind while doing your crafting. The rest of these items here, if you go, are the items that you're holding. Hit equipment to put anything that you can equip onto yourself on this bar here. Crafting is anything that involves in your crafting skills. These are materials used in crafting. Housing are things you can put into your house, or in cases like this here, you can place them down in your house as well. These are maps of the area. For instance, Soul Town has a map. Then consumables, anything that you can devour or use. If you check a map, like double click on a map here, for instance, Soul Town, you'll see the maps are a little different than your standard MMORPG maps. It's like an actual drawn out, written out map. These glyphs here are the language of the game, which you don't necessarily need to learn, but it's very helpful to learn. You'll see that it's a standard map, and right here is where we are. So if you follow this path up here, you'll see, oh, I need to pin that down. You'll see up here, this is the stream that we came from. Why is it? Stop doing that. I pinned you down. This is the stream that we came from. We followed the road down here into Soul Town. Stop disappearing. Why are you disappearing? You should not be disappearing after being pinned. So the map system isn't exactly perfect. It's rather annoying sometimes to work with. Still working. They are still working on that. You'll see, if you zoom in here, this is the town itself and the 4 buildings in this town. You'll then see these bunch of plots here. These plots are where players can place down their own buildings all around here and down here as well. So if you want to place down a building and there's an empty lot to do so, feel free to do so. In single player mode, all these lots will be empty and free to use. As you make your way down here, well, anytime you run into somebody, you'll slow down. So keep that in mind as well. in Soul Town, you can come on down here, and right here is a cemetery. You'll do most of your beginning training in the crypts, or the catacombs. Right down here. That is the entrance here to the catacombs. So another thing we're going to go over is your skills. You have adventuring skills and you have crafting skills. They have two different experience pools. You gain crafting experience by gathering items or completing quests. You're getting adventuring experience by killing enemies and completing quests. When using a skill of any type, it'll take experience from your experience pool into that skill, as you saw earlier in Solace Bridge with the range combat. Depending on which skill it is a certain amount will be pulled into it. If you scroll on top of a skill, you'll get information onto that skill. If you see on the top there, it says Ammo Scavenger, and then it says Range Combat Innate Skill. That is really important. Innate skills are just skills that work by themselves. They do not need to be activated or set to anything. They'll just do their job. Innate skills also take the most amount of experience in this game, which means if you're training an innate skill, it'll drain your experience pool the most. All of your beginning skills are usually innate skills, except for the shield I've seen. Shield is an activated skill. If it is a blue, it means it's very defensive. If it is red, it is offensive. If it's gray, I believe it's an innate skill. And then if it's this, I believe this is green. These are healing and personal buff abilities. So you have your combat, which is your shield, polearm, blades, heavy, light armor, bludgeoned and ranged. Then you have your magic tree, which is sun, moon, earth, air, life, death, water, fire, and in the center of it all, chaos. Then your strategy, you have tactics, focus, subterfuge, and taming. Basically, you have your strength, your intelligence, your dexterity, and taming is kind of a side thing where you can tame animals to accompany you. Crafting, you have your gathering, your refining, then your production. So this is where you gather your materials, this is where you refine the materials, and this is where you actually produce something different from those materials, such as potions or armor. Next thing you're going to want to know, how to use your combat decks. You probably haven't understood this at all, or even seen this in action, because if you pick up your weapon now, you'll see that all of these have little golden borders around them, which mean they're all locked in place. If you go to your deck here, you gotta put away your weapon first, you can go to Modify. This will open up your deck menu. This is where you're creating your deck. As you see here, all of these abilities are locked. What does that mean? It simply means that these abilities won't change. These are the abilities that you have set to use, and this is a simple way of like most MMORPGs or most games in general, where you just select your combat bar and that is your bar. That's what you use. Which is perfectly fine and dandy if you wish to continue playing that way. However, locking a skill down will actually cost you focus, which is your blue bar, which is mana in most other games, but is focus in this game because it also includes the use of standard abilities, not just magic. If you unlock these skills, you'll see they're added to this section here. This is your deck. Now, if you right click and remove the card, you will see that there's any glyph slots. This means that any of these cards or glyphs can be added to these locations as you play. So let's add some of these skills by clicking and dragging them onto our deck. The more of the same card you place into your deck, the more often that card will be drawn. Similarly to a standard deck building game, where as you put more cards into your deck, the more often you'll draw those cards. When you hit done, you're all set. If you hit Z to pull out our weapon, you'll see that this bar is empty and will start being filled up with different things. This is us drawing cards into our hand. Now if you have two of the same, you can click and drag it on top of each other, and they'll stack. Now what that means is, you'll see a focus cost there. It's a focus cost of 6. You see here, these are cost 8. If you stack them on top of each other, it'll then change to 6. It'll cost you less the more you stack. Now it costs 5 to use this ability. This is a good way to save your focus and cost less focus to use your abilities, so you don't burn through it so quickly. If you have a locked ability like this one here, you can't stack. So it has to be only unlocked slots can stack. If you master that, you'll be better off. Go back to modify. By having some locked and some unlocked, this is considered a hybrid deck. If you have all of them unlocked, then it's considered a chaos deck, which is just, you know, a bunch of drawing chaos and kind of figure out what you're doing. Or you have an all locked bar, which is just a standard lock bar. Now, something you may not know, even those who have played this game before. You can click and drag items down to your bar. For instance, let's say aim shot. Keep it unlocked. And basically when this card is drawn, it'll prioritize this slot. It also means that only this ability will sit in this slot. So you can set it up such as that you have your main attacking abilities in the main first 4 keys, easily reachable with your left hand, if you're left-handed. You can also stack multiple abilities on a slot, such as this, which means that these 2 abilities can be placed in this glyph slot. So when random drawings are happening, they will prioritize these 2 slots. Then any other glyphs can be emptied out in these any glyph slots. If you decide to fill up your entire bar, with slots, you will then see a bunch of these have grayed out. That means there is no spot in which, when these are drawn, they can be placed into this bar, which means they're unusable. Now, from my experience, what that basically means is, if that card were to be drawn, it would then skip that draw. So it hinders how quickly you'll get new cards, because those cards that were grayed out have no spot to go and will be instantly discarded back into your deck, which if they're discarded back into the deck, that means they can be drawn again, and you can actually wait for a little while before drawing an actual card that you can use. So it's better off to leave at least a few empty slots so that those cards will be drawn and be usable. For now, that is all the beginning of the Shroud of the Avatar intro to the game. Feel free to check out other videos that we are doing on the channel, including more videos coming up on Shroud of the Avatar. For now, this is ACryInShame, part of the Long Drawn Night team, signing out.